Welcome to Spidell's California Minute. I'm your host, Catherine Sedan, and this week we're clarifying when you need to send a 1099 NEC to the FTB, along with some deadlines coming up at the end of January. We only have a couple of live dates left for our federal and California tax update webinars, so if you haven't attended yet, head over to caltax.com and click on webinars to get signed up. Starting with the forms filed in 2022 for the 2021 tax year, the 1099 NEC was added to the combined federal and state filing program. So if you're filing using the combined program, then the 1099 NEC does not have to be filed separately, and the IRS will forward it to the FTB. The 1099 NEC is due to the IRS by January 31st, whether it's filed electronically or on paper. But taxpayers who don't participate in the combined filing program do also need to send the 1099 NEC to the FTB by January 31st. For forms filed in 2021 for the 2020 year, the 1099 NEC was not part of the combined filing program, so businesses had to send the FTB a copy of the form. However, there was some confusion last year, and the FTB waived penalties for failure to timely file the 1099 NEC for the 2020 tax year. This was based on the FTB's determination that a failure to timely file the Form 1099 NEC directly with the FTB for the first year was deemed to meet the reasonable cause exception in the statute. The January 31st deadline also applies to individual and fiduciary returns if the taxpayer owed and did not pay estimated tax on January 15th, which fell on January 18th in 2022, and they want to avoid the estimated tax underpayment penalty. W-2s need to be filed by January 31st with the Social Security Administration and sent to employees. And Form 940, Employer's Annual Federal Unemployment Tax Return, and Fourth Quarter Form 941, Employer's Quarterly Federal Tax Return, need to be filed with the IRS by January 31st. January 31st is also the deadline for most taxpayers to return fourth quarter employee retention credits to avoid penalties and interest. Other than recovery startup businesses, taxpayers who receive the advance payments of employee retention credit or reduce their payroll deposits for the fourth quarter of 2021 have to repay these amounts because the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act retroactively repealed the employee retention credit for the fourth quarter. The January 31st deadline to furnish Forms 1095B and 1095C to report healthcare coverage to recipients has been moved to March 2nd, 2022 because of changes made by proposed regulations. For California purposes, the January 31st filing deadline applies to filing the pass-through entity annual withholding return, Form 592 PTE, with the FTB, as well as sending Form 592B, the resident and non-resident withholding statement, to all payees. Sales and use tax returns need to be filed with the CDTFA, and Form DE9, quarterly contribution return and report of wages, needs to be filed with the EDD. Follow Spidell Publishing on social media, and you can get a blend of tax tips, fun facts, and get to know the people who make Spidell run. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. That's all for this week. Join us next time for another episode of Spidell's California Minute.